things been going since our last session? Good, bad? Have you seen any improvement?
We've been good. We've been steadily, and we were trying to get more into the competitive. So I think we started when I started with you. We're at like bronze 4.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on bronze 2 now. We're at the
Mm-hmm.
cusp of bronze 1. So we're making strides in the right direction.
Nice, awesome. So just some steady improvement. Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. So has that improvement felt steady? Has there been any like concerns that you have on your climb? Do you have any questions about anything that's come up?
Uh, no, the only concern we've had is just really like we're kind of I was talking about a second ago, just that synergy. Are we kind of like
Mm-hmm.
matching
Mm-hmm.
right and things like that? Because it's a five people team. We're only two. I know that's a good
Yeah.
percentage of the team, but how can we really maximize
Yeah.
our potential and kind of maybe blend in with the team better?
Yep. Fair enough. So I gotcha. Let's talk about like what are the different if you're fine, we can just talk about that to begin with.
Yeah,
Since like I
sure,
said,
sure, sure.
a lot of this, if I'm not hearing comms, will probably be more just getting the theory out of the way.
Mhm,
So you're playing tank support combo. Because you're tank support combo, I don't think there's gonna be like as many direct combos as like a DPS support duo that you can
mhm,
do, but really just like team composition wise, the first step would just be making sure that you're like playing characters that fit well with each other and not go against each other. What characters do you both typically play? Are you guys all over the place, or you both typically play the same characters?
typically, she's really kind of like channeling in Kiriko
Mm-hmm.
and Lucio, and so I was kind of playing around with a bunch of tanks. I'm kind of trying just right now dialing in Diva,
Mm-hmm.
trying to kind of like play around with that dive
Yep.
composition, and seeing how that kind of plays. I have a number of tanks in my arsenal, but I'm kind of just like trying to hone in on Diva because she's probably
Okay.
the most comfortable dive tank. I'm
Mm-hmm.
currently with.
Okay, I gotcha. So then really I guess the main thing if you play like a few other characters but then you're focusing on Diva right now, um and she has Kiriko, Lucio, I would it probably just like honestly there's a lot of other factors like what map, what's the rest of your team running.
Yeah,
Um
exactly.
her Lucio is probably going to be a bit more for like a brawly composition if you have another solid healer.
Mhm.
And if not, then Kiriko is usually going to be pretty good with like the dive. Might be a little bit easier with a dive if you're lacking another good healer, or Lucio might be better on like boopy maps, where Lucio can get boops on. Um,
Mhm.
Diva, I mean, like that. I guess those are really the main ones. I don't think usually you're gonna need to like swap up your character to like fit into hers. It seems like neither of you really play too many just like sit back and spam characters.
Mhm.
That seems like yeah, because we did Ramach. Ramach is a little bit like that, but he's also brawly, so Kiriko or Lucio would work for that. So I think you're good. You seem to be good character wise. So let's talk about communication for a moment. When it comes to communication, there are going to be like a few things that you can do to help just both of you be on the same page. And now I would recommend, like, with these things, it's always helpful to like just say it for everybody because then everybody gets the benefit and you have even more
Mhm.
team communication. But really, when it comes to working together and being in synergy, teamwork is going to like a big chunk of that is going to come down to how are you talking and communicating with each other, because that's how you coordinate, that's how you work cohesively as a team, is by communication. Otherwise you're all just
Mhm.
running around doing your own thing. I mean, like, there's going to be
Mhm.
some other small things like making sure that you all know where to stand, and like having the same knowledge and knowing this is the best moves to be in, and things like that. So right, being on the right comps, standing in the right places. But once you're in a fight, a big chunk of coordination is going to come down to communication. So um really what I would do is just communicate who are you shooting at. That's a pretty simple one.
Mhm.
During a fight, just call out the character name that you're shooting at. So you can say ball, 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 Kiri, 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 Ash, 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 right? And just repeat their name a bunch of times, and that will
Mhm.
make it clear to your whole team who you're shooting at, and then when you have like three people shooting at one character, they're gonna blow up a lot faster than if you're shooting at them alone.
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind shooting at the same thing, right? So that's a simple
Mhm.
one during a fight is just call whatever you're looking at. As the tank, especially as the tank, a lot of times that'll come down to the tank to be the primary target caller,
Mhm.
because you have the most consistent damage. You're kind of usually the front line. Um, Supports aren't always shooting at things, and DPS sometimes are flanking. So not everyone can reach those characters. Um, Now, next, there's other simple things. Like, I don't want to get super crazy complex with this because you're still in
Good.
bronze. We could go way crazy complex with this, but we're not
Okay.
going to because this isn't an organized team environment where all of you are playing together, coordinated.
Mhm.
This is like I would go super in depth if this is like you guys are trying to be a full organized team, but it's just two of you and you're in bronze, so there's probably a lot of other things to focus on than just how do you talk to each other.
Mhm.
Another thing that can be helpful is call when team fights are won and lost to your teammates, because that's something you should be paying attention to anyways. Has that?
Mhm.
Do you remember? I think we would have gone over that because I saw we went over aggression scaling.
Mhm.
Do you remember how to tell whether or not you've won or lost a fight?
Looking at the kill feed up the top right
Yep.
there.
Looking at the kill feed, 1 to 2 is an advantage or disadvantage. Two to
Mhm.
three is a won or lost fight, and then just call that to your teammates. Just say, you can whenever you're doing call outs, do repeat it a couple times, make sure you're getting the main points across. So if you're calling that the fight's lost, firstly, the first thing you're communicating is the most urgent one. No ults, because if you've won or lost a fight, you don't want to use ultimates because that's the main thing you're trying to prevent by communicating it, because it's just going to end up wasting it. And you'll notice in
Mhm.
bronze, people will do this all the time because they have no fight awareness. They will go in
Mhm.
and you'll see that the fight's lost, and then like three people will use their ult anyways on both sides. So communicate when you see that the fight is won or lost. Say no ults, no ults, ults. Fight lost, we're down two. No ults, no
Mhm.
ults, ults. Fight won, we're up three people. Right? And so
Mhm.
so you're saying it a couple times. You're communicating one, that don't use any ultimates. Two, the fight is lost or won. Three, why it's lost or won, because not everybody's going to be on the same page as you. Maybe so you just give them the quick, we're up three people, we're up two people, we're up five people. Why are you ulting when we're up five
Yeah.
people? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. Makes sense.
and let's see. We're not going to get into ult tracking. We're not going to get into ult planning, unless you have like a specific combo. Like honestly, Kiriko and Lucio aren't going to have specific ult combos with anything you're running as a tank. Um,
Mhm.
you can try to call like when you can try to have her tell you when she's planning, or you can tell her vice versa. I'd probably be honestly, it could even be better for you to just to say when you want to push. So if she's on Lucio, you can say, you amp me in, right? So I want
Mhm.
to go, so let's go. You can communicate it with your whole team and just say like we're going in 3 2 1, and then that's her cue to amp speed or something like that.
Mhm.
um and just giving communication on that end can be a little bit helpful. Or call when you're using ultimates, like I'm using she can say I'm using Kiriko Rush, so now that means that you know to run in with it, things like that. I think there's maybe like a couple tiny things I'm missing, but those are a few things to start with at least. Did you have any questions on any of that? Anything else that you were interested in team wise?
No, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like you're saying we're just trying to find our groove together, and yeah, it was getting better about the communication stuff. We were just get done. We just got done playing before. Yeah, I jumped on with you, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the communication was definitely again a lot better as because
Mm-hmm.
we've just committed to this. Like what, let's just try this dive thing, and see how
Mm-hmm.
that works out. Like this, we're like 2 games into this. Like this is our first game trying
Yeah.
this whole dive thing.
So call, like, that might be a big one, is call who you're diving, right? Like
Yeah.
if you tell her who you're going on, then she could go in with you and then start shooting
Mhm.
at stuff, and then that way both of you are working together to kill the thing instead of just both of you kind of all over the map and do whatever you want to do.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Well, let's hop into it. I'll be a minute or so while I'm looking for something to talk about.
One round. Power up!
Cool. Taking high ground. And we've never gone over Diva, so we'll probably have a lot of techie things to go over. All right, I have one thing immediately that's gonna be massive for you.
Okay.
We're gonna go over ranging. It's gonna be something we're gonna go over, but let's see if there's anything else before we hop into the training range. Okay. Let's look real quick. Um, you do have one other teammate with you, but I think you're kind of like off on your own a bit here. It might be better to be like if to be more grouped up around like imagine for example we're a little bit pulled back and we're on point and now we have 3 people looking at the ball instead of being like a 2v3 over here. You're just kind of at a disadvantage. You don't have any supports with you to heal you, or vice versa. You could have your Kiriko over with you and then it's a 3v3 and just kind of ignore point for the moment. So then that'd be something for your wife to do. Here would just be to stick with you guys, but you're kind of just split up from your team. So this is
Mhm.
the kind of not being in sync with each other kind of
Mhm.
deal. So try to be in the same places. Good job going for the health pack, noting that it was not there and then getting away. That was good awareness.
Right.
Feel better?
Yeah, we're all over the place for the first couple minutes here, but
Mm-hmm. Note that we are like a minute into the fight and we haven't used missiles at all yet. Um, so just honestly, you can just use it when you're shooting at stuff. I'll go over in a second to show you like some combos you can do as Diva, but
mhm.
you can use it when you're just spamming at people. But honestly, like the best time to use it, I wouldn't just use it all the time when you're spamming people. Only when you're like really far away. If you're really far away, use it when you're spamming at them. But if you're a medium distance, save them and use them for when you get in on top of somebody because you can blow somebody up by doing a missile shoot combo, and you can boost in. And I'll show you that in a second. But we're
Okay.
kind of we haven't used it at all yet. Okay, so now we're using it. Cool. This is good. That's more of the idea. Get in on top of them and use your missiles. DMing nothing there.
Yeah.
Holding it down a little bit long. So notice here we're not really using defense matrix on anything because no one's shooting. We hold it a little bit long. Okay, good. We're shielding our Kiriko, but then we just like keep holding it even when we're around the corner.
Yeah, yeah.
So just watching that a little bit. Okay. Let's just go over some Diva stuff real quick. Yep.
Sounds good.
All right. So when it comes to Diva, first thing, let's go over your range. I think we did a little bit better when we were getting in, but like let's just make it very, very clear you do not have any range on Diva. So let's get up right up on top of somebody real quick. If I'm right here, look at my damage. They melt really, really quick. Now they do note that these are 200 HP, not 250. They didn't update the bots for some reason. But we can melt people pretty quick with Diva. Okay, let's go to 10 meters. I melt somebody a little bit slower. It's still pretty quick,
Mhm.
right? I can melt them
Mhm.
pretty quick, but it's still a little bit slower. Okay, but if those are all headshots, let's go to this range. Oh, it's a lot slower, right?
Yeah.
A lot slower. Still doable though, right? That's still not too bad of a range. 20 meters. All right. Well, now we're tickling people,
Mm.
right? So you at the start of that first fight were like this range where we're like going, all right, cool.
Yeah.
And then they got healed, right?
Yeah.
So you really cannot play Diva from a range. I mean, like you can't like obviously you'll have times where you're backing up or pushing in or rotating, but like when you're in the fight, you gotta try to find ways to get closer. Obviously, trying to stick with your team, use cover, so push from this cover to this cover and get closer so that we can get in on top of them. but when you're playing D.Va, you're not going to be able to do anything from a really far range. So your preference range has a cap of 15 meters, right? This is like the furthest you can go while still being effective. And then even better is being up at like 5 meters. So 5 meters best, 15 meters kind of cap. Um, let's talk about boosters really quickly. So boosters, really handy. A lot of the times, your combo is you're gonna look for you're gonna poke, poke, poke. You're gonna DM stuff when you see the opportunity for it, and then when you see the opportunity to swoop in, you can swoop in and try to get a kill. So you see a squishy, like somebody who has low health, you see that they're out of position, they're low, you have your teammates going in with you, things like that. You see the opportunity. So this guy's off by themselves, and we're
Mm-hmm.
going to boost, shoot our missiles, and shoot our bullets because you can bullets and missiles at the same time. And notice how they will blow up pretty quickly when you do that because you're getting up close on top of them, which not only does that mean on D.Va you have a bunch of spread, so not all your bullets are hitting from far away. You have fall
Mm-hmm.
off damage, which means you're doing less damage, and it's less accurate because you're further away, right? So lots of
Mm-hmm.
things that going against you. And it's also harder to hit your missiles from a distance because they're projectiles. But when you boost and get in on top of somebody, you can melt them pretty quick. So that's going to be your basic kill combo is boost, shoot, rockets. Boost, shoot, rockets. Get in on top of somebody and then try to get out. You can get in on top of somebody if they're isolated and just stay there. You can swoop in and then use the rest of your boost to swoop out to a high ground. You can do the same thing but just turn around so I can boost, do that, and then use the rest of my boost to disengage and get back. So let's do that like here. I'm going for this guy. I boost missiles and then I'm back to the corner. I can do
Yeah,
that.
that's pretty cool.
Um, and just getting a lot closer, you're going to be melting people a lot quicker than just poking at them from like all the way back here. Makes sense? Any questions on that so far?
Yeah, I got two. So would you say like kind of in that scouting, assessing phase of Diva, when I do have some distance, is it best to just kind of not shoot at all? Like maybe not, I'm giving my position away or something like that,
Um,
or
No, a lot of the times it's fine to shoot. I mean,
okay.
like, unless you're really being sneaky, like if you're trying to go for like a sneaky bomb or something like that.
Mhm.
If you're trying to be sneaky, then be sneaky. But
Okay.
if you're just like sitting there waiting for something to happen, a lot of the time you're just poking. Like it's okay to do a little bit of poking, but
Mhm.
you're more than just poking. You're looking for opportunities to do something. You're looking for
Mhm.
opportunities to push in somewhere to boost. Oh, this person's off by themselves. Let me boost around here real quick and get up closer, and then I'm swinging back this way. Instead of just like sitting here and then just like smacking your face into into the tank, you're gonna look for something to do. You're very opportunistic, is how your play
Mm.
style is. Um, the other thing you can be thinking about when you're just poking is just how to use defense matrix properly, and
Mhm.
get value out of that. Defense matrix. Let's just talk about how to use it properly. Um, very similar if we've talked about Ramatra Shield. Very
Mhm.
similar to how you would use that. You don't want to just, it's a really long cooldown for Ramatra Shield, so you don't want to just like plop it up whenever, wherever. You want to use
Mhm.
it for a purpose. So your defense matrix you're going to use when you're low, when your teammates are, or when you're in danger, I guess is a bit more accurate. When you're lower in danger, when your teammates are lower in danger, when you're pushing in, when you're backing up, when you see a ton of damage that you're soaking up, when you are eating, and then other big ones are going to be like eating abilities and ultimates. There's a lot of abilities and ultimates that you can eat in the game, right? Like let's just look at ultimates. Ultimates are really powerful things, and if you can eat them with your defense matrix, then that's a lot of value. So let's just go through the list real quick and think about what ultimates can you eat. You can eat Roadhog. You can eat let's see, not many tanks can you eat. You can eat Zarya's ultimate.
Mhm.
You can eat Bastion's ult. You can eat Kree's ult. You can eat Hanzo's ultimate. You can eat Mei's ultimate. You can eat Pharah's ultimate. Reaper's ult. Sojourn for the most part. Soldier for the most part. You can eat Torbjorn's ult. You can eat Tracer's ult. Um, you can eat Alari's ult. I think I'm pretty sure. 90% sure. You can eat Alari's. You can. That's about it ult wise. I think, unless I skipped over one.
Mhm.
lots of ultimates and abilities, like high-powered abilities you can eat up. So, when do you not want to use defense matrix? You don't want to use defense matrix when you're just like chilling and one person is casually shooting at you, right?
Mhm.
Because if you have like one person casually shooting at you, you can just run around the corner, right? And then you're fine. You don't want to waste your defense matrix on like tiny little bullets, unless your teammates are low. And now we're using our bullets because our teammates are low, right? So
Makes sense.
and they're in danger. Also, just small stuff is just like think of your defense matrix. It has a range of 10 meters, so that's here to here, I think, as far as I'm aware. Sorry,
Okay.
this is hard to, I guess, actually demonstrate. We can eat from back here on somebody. We can also like hold it in front of them to block off damage. You can hold it on top of them to block off the damage. Um, things like that. Different ways you can use it. Any questions on any of that?
No, that's real good. I'm definitely a little DM happy sometimes, so I need to like kind of
Hmm.
figure out when's the optimal time to use it.
Yeah, and like use it less just spamming it, and then being more intentional to actually look for the times where you can get good stuff.
Mhm.
Very easy tip for Diva is press tab and look at what characters are they running, and then do make a list in your head what abilities and what ultimates can I eat, and that will up your percentage of the ones that you'll actually be eating on a regular basis. So think what abilities, what ultimates. So if they're on Reinhardt, Tracer, Ash, um, Zenyatta, and Alari, right? You can eat Reinhardt's Fire Strikes. That's pretty much about it.
Mhm.
You can eat Tracer's Pulse Bomb. That's about it for her. You can eat Ash's Dynamite and maybe a bit of Bob when Bob comes out. But if you eat all of Ash's Dynamites, that's a lot of value right there. Um,
Mhm.
you can eat Alari's ult, and then Zenyatta's it doesn't really got much you can eat. Any abilities or ultimates at the least, right? So being
Mhm.
intentional behind that kind of stuff. Um,
Cool.
I haven't seen you use your bomb. Um, so do we talk about bomb now? Do you know how to boost when you bomb, or do you just kind of plop it there?
Yeah, I'll boost to send it a certain direction or send up in the air or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. So
or I'll plop it down.
yeah. So a lot of times just boost it up in the air. Typically you go like timing wise if you need to work on timing is you go about um a second up and then it takes a second to drop. So you go like oh that was early, my bad. I was gonna explode early. Great demonstration. Good job. Alright, I just pressed the button way too early there. Yeah, you go about a second up because if you do that and you press it too early, then it's going to explode too high. And then if you throw it if you wait too high up, then it's just going to drop back to the ground. So you go up about for a second, and then you let it go so that it has time to drop and explode midair. Because if it explodes midair, it actually covers more ground because it can get people around cover and at different angles and things like that. So that's why a lot of times it's handy to explode in midair because people can't get around corners as easily. Um,
So about
then
halfway around that circle, is that what I saw? About that little
yeah,
timer
yep,
circle?
halfway around pretty much.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. For when you're launching straight up specifically. You
Okay.
launch it forwards. A lot of times, my suggestion, try to do it where they don't see where it's coming from. Because if they can see your bomb and where it's coming from, it's a lot easier to just run away from it. So you can throw it at angles like this, where they just don't see you until it's kind of too late, right? So it's just coming in, and then it's already on, and it's on top of them. Or you can throw it from like a side alleyway or off of a roof or over top of a roof like this and just like have it explode over top of their heads. If you're in the fight, you can drop it. I'm not sure if you know this tech, but if you actually you can't see it, but um, if you get demeched, you're actually able to press bomb after getting demeched. So for this or for
Yeah.
the second after, like right as you're getting demeched, you can press it, and that
Yeah.
way you get your
Mhm.
mech back.
Mhm.
Cool.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's mostly it. And then obviously the main thing with bomb is just wait till they're out in the open. Cover is the biggest counter to your ultimate. If they can just run around the corner, your ult's not going to do nothing. So if they're right here, don't ult because they can just run around the corner. You want to ult when all of them are out in the open, like so. Right, all of them are out in the open, and then we can go for it. That's too early again, but oh, the other guy's winning. All right, so that kind of thing.
Cool. Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out, to identify maps and like look at a
Hmm.
map and be like, oh yeah, this is a good map for such and such. So I'm still trying to identify all that stuff.
Ready for battle.
All right. Oh, wow, I don't know where we were at. Somewhere around here.
Yeah, we kind of went
So
back. Yep, I just got done
yeah,
saving. Yeah, Amber. Yep.
cool. Nice.
Nom
You
nom.
boost in on top of a squishy. That's pretty good. You can eat that nade, right? So that on a nade something you can eat. Let quickly, real quick, look at the enemy team. What are abilities and ultimates on the enemy team that you're going to be able to eat on a regular basis?
Ash,
Mhm.
Anna.
Which
Uh,
abilities?
Anna's nade, her little anti nade. Ash's dynamite.
Hmm. Anna's got one more.
Kiriko, or like Suzu,
Yeah, you can
or
eat her Suzu.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Anna's got one more.
Uh, Anna, Bob. I guess so. Just kind of.
Oh yeah, you can eat Bob. Yep. Well, one more thing Anna's got.
Her dart. Can I eat that?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
You need a sleep dart. So those are all different things that you can try to watch for and be aware of, and then just knowing that you're watching for them will probably up your rate of actually eating them.
Initiate defense
Okay.
matrix.
Okay. Um. Nice. Okay. So watching nade, watching sleep keeps you from being out of commission there. Yep. I think it's good for you to still be an Ana. Good job seeing that she's low. Use your missiles. She's really low here.
Neutralizing
Yeah.
Use it
projectile.
to burn her down quicker. Like use your missiles. Just it's when you're a little bit further away, so it's harder to aim.
Your carry is here. Wow.
I don't know.
Revenge.
Bronze.
Yeah.
Oh, how's my KD?
Aim and tracking just seems a bit rough. Was sensitivity something we talked about last time? I feel like we did, but remind me.
And then we never like dialed in like a number or anything like that. If that's what you
No,
mean.
I haven't. I asked
Like
you what's your sensitivity and DPI at?
DPI. I'm starting to now mess with 1200. I was at
Mm-hmm.
800.
Okay,
Um,
so
and
1200.
then let me double check real quick what Divas is real fast for me. It is at options, control, change hero, Diva. I gotta have it at 5%.
5%. Okay, so that's um not bad at all. Like that seems like a fine sensitivity. What size mouse pad do you have?
This gigantic one takes up the whole
Gigantic one.
desk.
Okay, gotcha. So you have that's like pretty much like the same as mine. I'm at five. I have 800 times five. So that's about like a higher end to low sensitivity to maybe even like edging on medium sensitivity or so. Um, so that
You think I should
seems
dial it to 8?
fine. Say that again.
Do you think I should dial it back down to 8 to get? Because I haven't. I'm
Oh,
like reintroducing myself to Diva, so
wait, you have it. I thought you said you have it 5. Oh, 800, is that what you're saying?
yeah, 8. Yeah,
No, no,
800.
I
Okay.
think you're fine. It seems like tracking's just a bit difficult for you, um,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to be kind of disjointed. Trying to think of what could be other things. Aiming. So, do you typically like warm up at all before hopping into comp?
If we have the time, depending on the work
Hmm.
schedule or something like that. But I
Yeah.
try to like do some unrank or something. That's really all I
Hmm.
do is unrank. I don't know if there's like a lobby or
Yeah.
custom match I should be
So
jumping into.
here's my recommendation for you when you're warming up. So I typically recommend if you're if it, at all possible, like you said, with time, but
Mhm.
do about a 10-minute or so warm up. And the primary purpose of a warm up is to warm up your aim because you're not gonna come in tomorrow and forget how to press your ultimate button, but your arm will kind of forget how to shoot a little bit because your aim deteriorates very quickly. In about a day, it's going to be a little bit out of sync. That's why usually your first game on, your aim is horrible.
Mhm.
So you got to get your aim back in the game a little bit. So that's what the warm up is for. So here's my recommendation: do a high aim intensive game mode. You could even do it while you're in queue. Depends on your queue times. If your queue times are typically like 30 seconds to 2 minutes, then don't do it. If it's like 5 minutes or so or longer,
Mhm.
you maybe do it while you're in queue, or just wait a second and then while you're doing your warm up. High aim intensive game mode. So that's going to be things like try hard free for all, gun game, regular deathmatch is fine. Um, you can do aim arena, 1v1 arena, really anything you're just running around and shooting at people. You can do aim trainers in the custom games section. So if you just go to the custom game section, you can search up any of these. And there's
Okay.
aim trainers that you can do. You can do out of game aim trainers. Though if you're queuing up with your wife, maybe doing something for both of you at the same time might be good.
Yeah.
So you can do really any of those. And the reason why is because when you're doing those, the objective is on your aim. You're you're just focused on shooting mechanically. That's the main thing, and maybe dueling people and things like that. But there's no
Mhm.
when you're playing quick play, like that's all right, but you're going to be distracted by objectives and teammates and enemies
Mhm.
and all the ultimates and abilities flying around. There's just a lot of extra stuff to keep track of that
Mhm.
isn't the point of your warm up. The point of your warm up is for your aim. So that'd be my recommendation. And then you can also use those same ones for just practice if you're interested in practice. Um, a good one for tracking might be if you just like search up aim trainer. If you just go, oh sorry, if you go to custom games and you go all games and you just search up aim trainer, um, look for Lijiang Tower one in the current map, and those
Okay.
are usually going to be pretty good for tracking because it's going to just be bots. Being you can go like soldier or something like that. I think it might be too far away for Diva to do very much.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but it's just going to be
Every
popping bots up
soldier
in the air for
needs
you
cause.
that you can shoot down, and you just basically are just tracking them, and you can just practice that. Um,
Airspace
if you want to, you can
clear.
also, it shows the code at the top if you ever wanted to do it on your
Well,
own.
forget it.
But that kind of thing, and it's just a good place to practice tracking. Um, are things to keep in mind. Do you typically play like every day? Do you play every other day?
Yeah, we try to play every day. Nah, I mean, every day, but some days are only like maybe an hour at most.
Okay,
Just some days we'll get lucky and like maybe 2 hours, something like that.
okay, I gotcha. So then you probably don't have too much of a problem with playtime. So I'd start with that and see how that goes. And then just to check also, do you don't have like any problems with like your mouse, right? What kind of mouse do you have?
What is this one? This is that Logitech. I just got actually. Let me see. Which
Mm.
one is it?
All right. Well, if it's Logitech and it's
The Geo,
yeah,
the G502X.
gotcha. Yeah, you're probably fine on that end then. And so it's not just like you have like a $10 store mouse that's skipping frames on you.
Like an insignia or
Um,
something. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that it seems as though everything like all of your settings and and your setup is fine. It just seems like you just need to get some practice in on it on smooth tracking and aiming. Focus on keeping people in your line of sight. When you're aiming, I guess a couple other things we could talk about. Do you typically describe how you're typically holding your mouse? one thing to think about is when you're aiming and playing the game, is your arm typically resting on the table, or is your arm hovering midair?
It's sometimes I'll catch those. It's just resting.
Hmm.
Trying to get better about hovering too. 'Cause I feel like
Yeah.
I get a little bit better when I'm
Hmm.
hovering it.
Do you? This is something to think about. Is your chair like so? How you're seated in your chair?
Mhm.
Are you if you're too low, then your arm's gonna naturally be resting because you're kind of like your arms have to be up in the air, right? And then your
Mhm.
arm will naturally be resting. So that might be something to think about is potentially raising up your chair if you have the option to, so that you have a natural downwards angle, which means that you won't be as easily be able to naturally just rest your arm on the table. Um,
Mhm.
the other thing to think about is when you're arm aiming, because that's really with the sensitivity you have, you're probably going to be doing a lot more arm aiming than like wrist aiming. Um,
Mhm.
Wrist aiming is for low sensitivities. Um, if you're arm aiming, watch when your wrist is touching the table because that's going to be the difference. So if you are doing wide swinging movements, so if you're doing like I'm turning and doing 360s, or I'm right up on top of somebody, I'm shooting them. A lot of times your whole entire nothing should be touching the table, right? Arms up, wrist is up, your arm you're just free float. If you are trying to
Mhm.
be accurate, like you're shooting something at a range, so if you're trying to get precision, then that's where you set wrist down on the table, and now you have wrist movement, which is is smaller adjustments for more precision. So that if you're trying to shoot at somebody from further away, you can rest your arm down, or your wrist down, and get more precision in your aim. But just keep that in mind. There's the possibility. I don't know how you're aiming, but maybe you're like while you're trying to track people, you're like setting your wrist down on the table or your arm down on the table, and that's restricting your movement. Um, are things to think about. Um, I think that's all I have for the moment. Any questions on any of that?
No, that makes sense to me. Yeah, my chair. Well, I didn't cheap on the mouse. This chair is like a $50 chair, so it's pretty low.
Hmm.
So yeah, I definitely have to like force my arm up to do what you're
Hmm.
talking about, which makes sense now.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
try that out.
Yeah, so maybe like sometimes like your knees like you can't go any higher because then your knees kind of catch your desk. Kind of
Yeah.
depends on what your setup looks like. But you could potentially think about just like if you're able to raise your chair up or get like a seat cushion,
Mhm.
or at that event, if you have a crappy chair, maybe think about a new chair. But it's not probably not the end of the world if you're not able to. Just be conscious about where your arm's going
For sure.
and whatnot. Okay, let's keep going. Good boost after him. Uh-oh, got slept, so a bit of awareness. Good eating up his bullets because he's nanoed, so it's, you're eating up some ultimates and he's going to be doing a lot of damage. Alright. Okay, kind of taking some high grounds. Good. Here, we're not little tiny bit of awareness stuff. We don't notice our, oh man, I'm having a brain fart on what the new character's name is. Venture. We're not,
Venture.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're not noticing Venture, who's like 1 HP down there on the bottom left. So we could be like defense matrixing if we did. Missiles. Okay, there we go. Good job. Good job like getting in on top of her. Could be like a hair bit closer. Good job grabbing the health pack.
Forward barrier activated.
Boost in on top of her. Yeah, a little bit delayed. Cancel boost immediately there. Not noticing Ana.
Mhm.
It's a bit of awareness. Oh, we're gonna ult.
Nerf this.
What's the problem with that ultimate?
They can kind of dip out pretty quickly around like the pillars and all that.
Nope, nothing about how you threw it.
Okay. It's just kind of plopped down right there.
Hmm. No, honestly, that's like a decent spot. Honestly, you're gonna get Ana. Kiriko Adventure probably get away from it though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nothing about how you placed it.
I'm not sure.
Maybe
Looks good.
take a look at the flow of the fight here.
Oh, there's no one to capitalize or anything like that, or.
Yeah, like right now this is a 4v2, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And your venture's low health, so I'm gonna venture to guess that you likely lose this even if you kill the Ana. Now if the Kiriko for whatever reason here doesn't have TP, then you get 2 kills, and that is oh that's wrong Kiriko. She has TP. Okay, so she can get out here. So if she actually teleports. Now it's bronze, so who knows?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, so I think that this is probably just not a situation to use it, just because you're down a bunch of people.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay, so Ana. Oh, how did Ana get around the corner?
Yeah, got that.
Oh, it just took too long to explode. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna get Ana. Yeah. So still lose the fight. Right now it's a so we just watch kill feed. Right, watch the flow of the fight. Be aware what's
Mm-hmm.
going on around you. That'll better help you make decisions.
Reforming you.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah, honestly, for the moment, DM usage isn't like crazy important. I think there's a lot of other like just like things like a basic awareness that'll probably be more important. Um, yeah, decent timely pushing the team. Once again, just like notice how your whole team's kind of just disjointed and everyone's coming from different places.
Mm-hmm.
If you see that you're like half your team's not with you, it might just be worth going main so that you're grouped up with your team, and not like half and half. But it's not that bad. Okay, down a player. They use Kiri ults. We're going for the Kiri. That's good. Maybe could be boosting at her while with those
Mm-hmm.
missiles, because remember your boost also does extra damage. You get a bit closer. Ana's low. Boost at her. Right, like get in a little bit closer, because right now we're kind of sitting at that like max 15 meters, which is not like preference. That's like the back end of your preference, not the preference
Mm-hmm.
preference. Yeah, so this is lost. Could just be backing up. Okay, you kind of see that this is lost. Could have flown on like the outside to get away.
The breeze brings
Walked in that one. Whoopsie.
Yes.
Notice how we're still engaging, even though it's a 2v4 at the moment, right? So being aware.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Never mind. I didn't see the time bank. No. My bad. You were right here. I
Yeah. We were
sorry.
trying to
I
just.
think that I don't hear the ticking at all. I think it's just the audio slow. Um,
Yeah.
good awareness of seeing the time bank then. Not much you could do there.
No. We tried.
Yeah. Think honestly, just there's a lot of some not being aware, and also not killing things fast enough.
Yeah. 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 Like, definitely getting closer. Now that I see the range that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm. So here, good. We boost in. Watch the DM on it. Oh, Kiriko's in. Boost at her. Yeah, a little bit late on the boost, but good job. You got her once you did, right? Used missiles too, so boost and missiles. A lot of times they're not like really using that, but good job noticing that she's out of position there. Okay.
Engaging thrusters.
You're canceling your boost a lot. Like I noticed that like half the times or 3/4 of the time you're canceling your boost after half a second. So like here we could
Mm-hmm.
have kept boosting on the Ash, but we boost for like half a second and cancel it. So watch that. Are you clicking the button again, or do you have it on like on do you know if you have it on toggle? So hold. Do you have it on hold or on toggle?
Let's see. I think I might be clicking again,
Clicking
but let
again.
me double
Okay.
check.
So you can either just watch it and not click it again. You can try rebinding it to see if that helps, or you could maybe swap it to hold, see if that helps. Like just swapping something up to make it so that it's not just like that can sometimes just swapping up like the controls a little bit can help break
Yeah,
muscle
both
memory
those
habits.
settings are off. Yeah, they're both off. Toggle
Yes.
and hold.
So you're just that means that you're just holding you're pressing it a second time.
Mhm.
So just be
Wow.
careful. Like I said, you can
Cringe.
either change it to hold, which means you just have to hold it for as long as you want to boost,
Mhm.
or you can try rebinding it. So that might just help not not canceling it.
Initiating defense matrix.
Boost the Venture. Venture's low there.
On the
You didn't
objective
really
and
see.
ready for action.
There we probably could have canceled it. Still carrying
Yeah.
on. DMing nothing. Kind of like running away right now.
Our numbers are low.
Yeah, there we kind of just like stopped taking. We didn't boost at the Venture. We kind of just like let them run in. Okay, probably want to be disengaging right now. So, yeah, there you go. A little bit late to do that though. And we're going back in right away, even though we're down people, right? So this is a 5v3. So we're down 2 people. This is an instant lost fight the moment we
Mhm.
try to push back into it. So we just want to regroup and be 5 people when we're pushing, so we're not at a massive disadvantage.
Nothing gets past me.
Okay, so we do back, which is good. Okay, good. You back up and you pull back. We just stayed in a little long. I think could have gotten you killed. Good job driving her back. Oh, you're down a person. You have teammates pushing in and we're backing up right now. Hold a DM on your 1 HP Pharah.
Yeah. On the objective and ready for action.
Okay,
Initiating defense
DM
matrix.
the nade, DM the sleep.
Yeah, sleep is killing me.
Missiles, missiles, missiles. Also, when you get on top of somebody, that's when you want to cancel it. Is cancel it when you're on top of someone. You can, as a fun fact, you can melee to cancel. So if you get right up
Oh,
on top
cool.
of this Ana, you
Mhm.
can melee, and that'll 1 cancel your boosters, and 2 that'll get extra damage on the Ana as well.
I did not know that. That's cool.
DM for your teammates who are both purple and low, right? So you see 2 teammates who are both purple and half HP. Might be a good
Mhm.
opportunity to defense matrix them, so they're not just getting shot. Little too kill hungry, but you get the now you get the kill. Good job.
Here.
We're shooting at the ball. You've had pretty decent target priority. I will say that. I don't know if that's something we've gone over in another session,
Yep.
but
Mhm. Yep.
your
Yep.
target priority has been you haven't been staring at the ball the whole time, which is good. DM for your mercy, right? We weren't DMing for the mercy, so watch her health bar. We haven't used bomb at all. We do use bomb, but we kind of just plop it instead of like chucking it. Like if we chuck it like up in the air and get to land like right here, then that's a lot more effective because now they can all just like run around the corner and get away from it.
Mhm.
So it doesn't really do very much. And then at this point, we're down our whole team. So
Forward barrier activated.
all right, and then that's game. So let's do a wrap up review main points. Okay. So abilities.
Time to save the world.
Game on. Use your missiles when you're on top of people. Sometimes we're forgetting. Honestly, like with all of your abilities, I'd say boosts was probably the biggest one. Missiles and DM, some of the times it was decent, sometimes it was not really great, but it's also not like crazy major.
Mhm.
It's just a lot of consistency things. So boost, actually getting on top of them, don't cancel it. I think what you're doing is you're like going boop and then canceling it. So
Yeah.
boost in. Like I said, you can melee to cancel. I think I You didn't even see it, but I did melee to cancel there. Alright, so you can melee to cancel. So then, but I think it's actually only after, like, you can't melee during the first half. Oh, what the? Did they change it actually? Where you can't melee
Oh,
cancel
they
anymore?
changed it?
What the? You used to be able to. Maybe it's,
The setting.
huh. Well, maybe I'm just an old school Diva player and haven't played her regularly in a while. Advanced hide booster, cancel text, hide booster timer. Hold to use boosters, toggle defense matrix. Oh, well, I guess they removed that. I don't know when that was, but they got rid of it. It used to be a thing. I'm too old at this at Overwatch.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, you can still cancel it and melee when you get up on top of somebody if you wanted to, but just cancel it when you get close. Boost closer, missiles when you're boosting at somebody, and just combo it with your shots. Don't not use your missiles. DM use it intentionally. Right, there's a lot of like abilities and ultimates you're just letting slip through, and so be intentional behind that. Use it when you or your teammates are low. There are a lot of times where like our teammates are running around 1 HP, and we're just watching them, and we'll be like, "Oh hi, how's it going?" Wait, that your DM is the big part. That like this is most of how you're tanking as Diva is your defense matrix, right?
Mhm.
So look to utilize that to help your teammates out and yourself out. Overall abilities like a medium priority for you to work on. Ultimate usage, um, some work they can be better. Um, don't just like plop. A lot of times you don't want to just plop it there. Sometimes, occasionally you can, but chuck up in the air if at all possible. Don't hold on to it. During that last fight, we kind of like held on to it for a while and
Mhm.
didn't use it. Use it more like towards the middle of the fight when they've used their abilities and ultimates, not like towards the end of the fight. Usually with Diva, like start to mid fights best. Late fights usually it's just pretty situational to use it. Then overall that's lower, medium, maybe even, but it's definitely lower than abilities, I'd say. Next comes your, also don't use it in won or lost fights. Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Mhm.
Next comes your mechanics. Mechanics, just watch your target priority is a lot better. Watch your tracking though, because we're just like our tracking's kind of like, right. So it just means
Yeah.
that we're not landing all our shots, and it's just meaning that we're doing a lot less damage. That's really the main thing, the only thing in there though. But it's still like a medium priority. Just
Mhm.
that alone. So watch. The big thing was just like watch how your arm and wrist are set on your mouse pad, as well as just practice and warm up before your games. High aim intensive game modes. Next, positioning. Big one was just make sure to be in proper range. That was your main one. I think we might talk like, I mean, positioning will probably come up more as you're in ranks where they actually shoot at you when you're out of position. Um,
Mhm.
Bronze, they're not like everyone's missing all of their bullets on you, so you're not taking as much damage. But if you go up to silver, gold, they might start hitting a few shots. So that will mean that you'll need to use cover more. But for the moment, the big one is just be closer, right? Usually
Mhm.
we're at this like 20, or like sometimes we're at like this 20 to 10 range. Try to get a little bit closer to be like here, right? Here is a lot easier to land shots than it is to be here. And then just remember that 15 is like your hard cutoff. So hard cutoff is 15, and then even closer is better on Diva. Then overall, that one was a higher end of a medium. And then awareness. Awareness was pay attention to your team, where your teammates at, what are their health bars like, where are the enemy players at, what are their health bars like. Watch tab, and usually I recommend press it in between every single fight so you are updated. What ults do they have? What ults do you have? Did anybody swap characters? Things like that, to just pay attention to so that you can better just be aware of your surroundings, and you can pay attention to like what like we said before, pay attention to whose abilities to eat up and whose ultimates to eat up. So pay
Mhm.
attention and watch for those abilities and ultimates. Pay attention to the flow of the fights. 1 to 2 is an advantage or disadvantage. 2 to 3 is a won or lost fight. We would end up sticking around, I'd say the big thing was just get out of the fight. If you've lost the fight, get out. Or if you can't get out, let them kill you. Just regroup. And then don't push in without your teammates. Wait for your whole team and then push, if at all possible. There's sometimes we just keep dragging out the fight, dragging, and the fight would just go on forever because we would not disengage. So watch that. Overall, that one was probably the biggest one because that really impacted a lot of different parts of your gameplay. That's like higher end of a medium or like lower end of a medium high. So to put it all in order, number 1 is probably your awareness. Number 2 is probably your positioning and just being in range. Or honestly, really quickly, just I'd say just work on the positioning because that's one thing in positioning, and hopefully it should be a bit easier. Awareness sometimes can be just a bit harder, and it's more of a slow thing to work on. I don't think you're gonna magically be paying attention to everything.
Yeah.
That's something that you'll get with practice. So number 1, positioning. Number 2, awareness. Number 3, ability usage. And those are like your main 3. Then casually work on mechanics and ult usage as the last one. Any final questions?
No, that's all good. Appreciate it. I might play around with going back down to 800 because
Yeah.
I saw how much I was missing. I didn't realize after the fact you look at it now, and I saw how buttery smooth your soldier was there. You said that was 800 for you. I might maybe tone it back down.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I don't have perfect aim. There's definitely a lot. I'd say like honestly for the rank, primarily because I'm just out of practice and a little bit rusty. I don't play all the time. At the rank I'm at, probably most people have better aim than I do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like just keep honestly, practice is like I used to have better aim back when I just played more consistently and practice at it a bit more. Like practice is a big part of out of aim, as well as a little bit of natural talent and stuff like that. But yeah, all right. I'll get you your recording and